everyone, and welcome to All That Matters, a family life program sponsored by the Coconut Grove Seventh-day Adventist Church. Today, we are continuing our singles conversation, and in the hot seat this evening is an aspiring young lady, Theresa Hunter. She is single, but is she searching? And how is being single affecting her, or is it affecting her? So, Theresa, welcome to our conversation this evening. And for the sake of our audience, can you just please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Hi there. Well, thank you, rather, for having me. I, well, as you said, my name is Theresa. I am a teacher by profession, secondary level.
To continue in that vein, what has been the experience like for you as a young person dealing with young people?
Uh, at first, it was a bit rocky, you know. Uh, I know I'm older than those I teach at times because I do teach diploma level at times. And sometimes I just can't understand why they are the way they are. But then after a while, as I get more, let me say, seasoned into it, it's like nothing is just the norm. I love dealing with them. I enjoy talking with them, getting on their level, understanding them, helping them to make themselves better. So for me, it's fun.
Okay. So, what have you learned about yourself in that experience or during that experience?
Well, the good thing that I've learned about myself is that I actually love helping people, and for some reason, I am more drawn to the slower learners. I just think that they need that special attention, and so I have a passion for helping them to succeed in what they can't do just by themselves or others don't think they would ever be able to do. I enjoy seeing them put themselves together and take that step forward. The bad thing that I've learned about myself is that I am highly impatient. Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, that's an interesting balance here because we're dealing with young people, and that's a quality that is much needed. So welcome. We'll get back to that. There is an expression that I have heard over the years, that human beings, we should have started our life's journey from the age of 100 and then go down to our infancy. Is there any wisdom to you in that expression?
Starting our lives at the age of 100,
Mm-hmm.
then go down to infancy. That is the first I'm actually hearing that expression. And so right now I can't really put a point on it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say for sure where I am with that expression.
Okay, so given where you are in life, right, and all of the things that you have experienced, are there any do-overs for you?
At times, when it comes on to do-overs, at times I will look back at something and I say, if I had a chance, I would do it over. But then I think no, because it wouldn't be the same. And as tough as things may be sometimes, I think going through the things that I've been through, I think they have helped to mold me into who I am today. And so really and truly, no, I wouldn't do over.
Okay, so can you elaborate a little further as to some of the experiences that you've had that helped mold you into the person that you are today, and also share with us what inspired you to be in the teaching profession.
Well, what helped some of the experiences that have helped to mold me today? First and foremostly, being young, coming up, I grew up in a home that we were poor, right? But from my point of view back then, it wasn't so, because we were always provided with what we needed, you know. I
Mm-hmm.
grew up with my grandmother, my grandparents, actually, extended family,
Mm-hmm.
and the virtues and the principles, the values that she taught us, you know, she would always do her best for us. And even when we were hungry, we would feel it wouldn't be as nothing, because we would always be so happy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Coming past that, coming up, I learned, she taught us how to make do with what we have at the moment, and
Mm-hmm.
use it to get us further, you know, to better ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
then coming along, going through school, so coming all through those years to where I am today, uh, the struggles, the different, I can't go through them one by one, but the different things that happen, you know, it just taught me little lessons. Be
Mm-hmm.
appreciative of what you have today. Never think that you don't have it or you don't have anything, because there's always something there, you know. It's just
Mm-hmm.
for us to, well, for me to open my eyes and see what I have and what I can do with it, in a
Okay.
nutshell.
Okay.
And as for what inspired me to get in the profession of teaching, I, during school, sometimes it was a struggle for me with school, in terms of my parents couldn't afford it to send me to school, especially when I got to high school. And there
Mm-hmm.
were always these teachers, you know, there was always someone to say, if I couldn't go to school, a teacher would come and say, come to school, don't worry about it. It's even fine, your bus fare, come to school. You know, and I would just always put out my best. And during those years, going through that, I always thought that I wanted to give back something. I wanted to pass on what they did for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was really what pushed me into that.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So our conversation this evening is to talk about your journey as a young person. Are you looking for someone? And if you are looking for someone, what are the qualities that you are searching for? And what drives you, okay, in wanting to be associated with the opposite sex? Is it a sense of fulfillment? What is it that you're searching for?
Well, as to the type of person I would be, the characteristics I'll be looking for in someone, I really would like someone who is caring, someone who is loving, that, you know, those character tendencies come naturally to that person. Someone who is a family oriented person, because I'm very close to my family. So I want someone who can understand that type of relationship and attachment to family.
Mhm.
I and this one, I would really like to get involved with a man of God, not just a Christian. But, and I say that because of some things that I've witnessed with men in the church,
Mhm.
you know, some experiences, and I know that it is not that the person is in church that means that they are what they ought to be. And
Mhm.
someone who is jovial and fun. You know, I
Mhm.
think at times I am enough boring for both of us. And
Okay.
the what could you repeat the second part of the question, please?
I'm gonna ask you a question which would merge the question I asked you
Mhm.
earlier. Okay. Um, you made mention that you're looking for a man of God, not necessarily what we call a Christian, right?
Mhm.
And a man of God, it encompasses a whole lot. Okay. You're not living in the house with that person. You're not you guys are not living together. How are you able to get to see and appreciate the things that you are looking for from a particular individual?
Well, I think that, seeing that that would not be available right there, dating someone, I think that there should be enough displayed where I will be able to make my mind up about that person. Yes, in reality, I know that there are some things that I will not necessarily know just from dating, but there should be enough from dating experience to, allow me or lead me to making up my mind as to whether is this the person really, as per to talking about a man of God. I know people can put on a show, but for how long? And for me, personally, I have a friend that she would say, you should always press the buttons. So those little things, doing little things, saying certain things, and just watching the response, paying observation for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on the placement, the setting, okay, that would help you get the answers that you want? You spoke about dating, going on dates, right? Let's talk about the placement, the situation, what particular situations would you be able to grasp the answers that you're searching for?
I come to think of it, I can't necessarily pinpoint that at the moment because I've never really looked into it from that point. But I'm thinking a variety of situations, different situations based on what I want to see come out of that person, know? And I would say that spending as much time where we can actually talk, reason about stuff, and just to see that person train of thoughts, how that person would respond to different scenarios. Yeah, in that instance there.
Okay, so let's assume that you are on a date, or visualize that you are on a date right now. Okay, you're at the beach. Okay, the church is having a picnic and you're there with your person of interest at the beach specifically, right? What are you looking for? And can you highlight some of the questions that you would personally ask that person to generate the vision that you're looking for?
At the beach, I come to think of it, I would, knowing me, right? I would be asking questions. I mean, I'd be asking questions as to per, what, maybe I will kickstart by asking, do you actually enjoy being at the beach? Stuff like that. And then moving on from there, come to get things about, whether or not you enjoy being out with the crowd, being out with church members, and go from there. But for really and truly, Sister George, my thoughts on this, I'll be asking serious questions, maybe nothing having to do with the beach at all. Knowing me, I would go deeper rather than, I can't. I guess I would have to actually be there in the situation, or actually on a date to actually know. But for me to just sit here and come up with those questions, I don't know. I think the spur of the moment chooses that for me.
So have you had anyone of interest in your life?
Not since recently, not in a while, no.
But you've had in the past?
In the past.
In the past.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on, obviously, since you are single, right? There was a breakup, okay?
Yes.
What caused the breakup, and what did you learn from the breakup?
Well, I can be a strong person in terms of the way I speak. I always blame it on my family. My friend says I shouldn't, because I tend to think, because I come from a family with strong women, and so in a relationship, I just speak my mind, and I don't necessarily think about the other person's feelings, and for me, that last person of interest, I think I really got into that with the pressure that I was getting from my family, my friends, And I said, okay, let me just try, just to kind of get them to back off. And so going into that, I was already intolerable with the person. And then all of that intolerance, it just caused me to do certain things, right? So I would make comments that would belittle the person. But as I said before, it wasn't something that I got into on my own, right? I just did this because, they kept saying, what do you have to lose? And, they that from everybody, I said, okay, I'll try. And I think I made such a big mistake there. And because, to say this, we were friends before that relationship. And after, our friendship kind of, faded away because of what we went through.
Can I ask whether the friendship was ruined?
If it was ruined?
Ruined, yes.
No, not altogether. It's just not the same as it was before.
Okay. You use the word strong, that you're a strong individual. You speak your mind. All right. Looking back on how you treated your partner in that relationship, and you made mention, like I said, you being of a strong character, right? Right now, is that the same Theresa, or have you chiseled a little of that character?
I think after that experience, I have been trying not to be like that, but I realized that at times that person, that character, it will come up, especially if in terms of dating, if someone approaches me and I'm not interested and I voice that I'm not interested and that person keeps coming at me, I get annoyed. And because of my annoyance now, I no longer tend to think about what I'm saying before I actually say it. It just comes out, And so I must say that I'm working on it. I'm a better, but I'm not 100% there.
Okay, okay. And you use it as a form of defense also. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting. We are going to take a short break and we'll be right back with Theresa Hunter, everyone.
We're back! Coconut Grove SDA Food Distribution every first and third Sunday on the church property, located at 3602 Furrow Avenue. What's better than a healthy and hearty cooked meal on a Sunday afternoon? Come by, grab a plate, and enjoy food that's cooked with love. We begin at 1 p.m. sharp, and everyone is invited. We hope to see you there.
So welcome back, everyone. We've been having an interesting conversation with Theresa, and we're going to continue from where we left off, Theresa. In your answer, you spoke of pressure, okay? There seemed to have been pressure from the outside, okay, in terms of wanting you to have or be in a relationship. Are you experiencing any such things at the moment? And yes or no, how are you dealing with that?
Yes, it never seems to stop. I have one aunt especially, she's crazy. Okay, I say she's crazy. She will call and say, just call, pick up the phone and call, and then she'll be like, Theresa, have you met anyone? I'm like, no. She said, okay, you need to, because you're nearing such an age and you need to have a baby. That's so funny. But yeah, the pressure for me, I have gotten to the point where I really don't care about what they want. As I stated before, I already caved into that pressure and it did not work out. And so I have no intention of caving again. So, I just, I've developed a backbone for that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you've developed some backbone. But would you want to be in a relationship right now?
Um, I would like to, because for some reason I say, this thing, relationship, it takes time. And I grew up in a home where I saw a man and a woman together being married, the head of the house. And I grew up in a big family. And honestly, I would love that. I want that for myself, right? So I really don't want to be sitting down and waiting, enjoying sex too much. And then, when it gets too late, I'm there rushing, trying to find someone. So yeah, why not start and go slow? Yeah.
So Theresa, tell us, how have you been able to deal with your sexual desires, especially as a young person, and the fact that you stated that yes, you would love to be in a relationship, and we know this is a natural thing that overcomes us, both men and women. How are you able to handle your sexual desires?
Okay, okay. At first, I was finding it hard, difficult. And so I would always be tempted to flirt, if someone comes up to me, I would just be tempted to flirt. And going through that phase, I realized that, if I succumb to this, it might lead to something else. And, I may end up somewhere where I do not want to be. And I would always, I started to remember something older cousin of mine would say to us when we were younger in high school. She would always say it to us to try to prevent us to stay away from sexual stuff, right? And so I would to remember that, and then at first I was just desperate, trying to cling on to anything to help me with this. But then I started to pray about it and to just ask the Lord to take my mind off such things. And so for now, I don't really think about it. I don't watch certain type of movies. I don't listen to certain types of music. I try to stay away from that stuff and to just keep my mind off it. Right now I'm doing good.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, being in church, being active in church, right? How does that help you also as a young person?
Well, being active in church actually has seen me to grow and so far. It keeps my mind focused on I would say productive things, I don't have that time for my mind to be drifting to some place it's not supposed to be. I look forward to doing the stuff that I do at church, and it helps me to give me that drive. It helps me to feel as if, I'm getting somewhere, with my life. And it's, for me, it's fulfilling being active in church.
Okay. Earlier you made mention that you would not mind being in a relationship even now, right? Are you happy being single? Are you happy as a single person?
I would say sometimes, sometimes I have my highs, sometimes I have my lows. Sometimes I enjoy it. Sometimes I'm so glad I'm single. And then sometimes I'm like, Lord, have you forgotten me? Yeah, it's like that, ups, downs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is it you ready to give up as a single person, wanting to enter into a relationship with another person? Because like
What am I ready to give
as
up?
you said, being single, you have all of the liberties that you can dream of as a young person,
Yeah.
right? Do you dread losing such liberty, after getting into a relationship?
Well, I actually tell myself that getting into a relationship is not, I try not to look at it as if I'm going to lose anything. I tell myself that, hey, it's just going to be a different way to do things, instead of you alone, there's going to be somebody. Because I don't want to get in that space where I am second guessing myself.
Okay.
So I try to tell myself, hey, it's going to be something different, something new, something that you can actually share with somebody. And as I mentioned earlier, that I'm here away from my immediate family, those that I actually grew up with. And so I think that sometimes, because I get this sense of overwhelming loneliness because I'm away from them, I'm single, I am used to having people around me. I am used to noise. If it's too quiet, it's like it's driving me crazy. And so I guess missing that helps me to look at it the way I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk about compatibility. Okay. We all have in our minds the type of person that we would want as a partner, right? And so
Yeah.
we may dream of it. So compatibility is an issue. And being a child of faith, right? You hoping that God is going to send someone your way, right?
Yeah.
Let us take into consideration you being a teacher, right? You aspiring onto greater things. If an individual, what type of person would you not want to date in terms of career-wise? What would you put a stop on, or would you put a stop on any career?
Honestly, I would never like to date someone in law enforcement.
Okay.
Never.
Because
Yeah, that's the one. And I'm not so sure about doctors, but yeah, I would never date someone in law enforcement.
okay. What about a sanitation driver? Would that turn you off?
I'm sorry, that never, it has never crossed my mind. So yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. It's
Okay.
not that there's anything wrong. It's just like to show you my mind is not even there.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, I guess it's would have to be careful in asking God to really send someone our way, right?
Yes, yes, indeed. Oh my, yeah. I've never thought about that. That's food for thought for me right
Okay,
now. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Tell us as a young person, Theresa, 3 years from now, where are you?
Well, I see myself getting anyway, career wise. I want to be more in a more intimate relationship with God. For me, I think that I'm lacking in that area. And so 3 years from now, I see myself being so much closer to Him. And as I said, headway career wise, I I don't want to say exactly where, but I'm hoping I'll be at least one step further in that wise. Yes, and happily dating. Yes, if not 3 years from now, happily dating, if not engaged or something.
Oh,
But
wow,
hey, I definitely
wow.
don't want to see myself being alone 3 years from now.
Okay.
No way. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go back to you being a child of faith, right? You have been described as a prayer warrior, and
Yeah.
I have witnessed it for myself, right? Being a prayer warrior in your low moments, right? How are you able to zone in that? And well, tell us, is that a gift that you have? And if it is a gift, how are you able to zone in that gift in your low moments?
Ah, a gift? I'm not sure because I've never thought of myself that way until, well, others started to say it to me. How I zone it in my low moments is that I I never intentionally say that, I'm gonna pray right now or anything like that. When I really talk to God, it's I'll be there thinking about something, a song comes to me, I start singing that song, and before I know it, I'm just talking to God. The moment. There are some times when what I have on my heart, I just start talking and everything comes out actually. But it's those silent moments that in my heart, I'm talking to God from my heart until it overflows and I start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just share with us some of the victories that you've had as a young person?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go back to, let me see, right after high school. I see going to college. I see even beginning college was a victory for me, and completing successfully at having to do no repeats, nothing. And some little things, I always look at it this way. I remember in my final year, I was going through so much. My grandmother had just died. Everything. I just, struggle for me. And I remember one day walking and just walking along the street. I don't know this man from nowhere. And he just looks at me. He's coming from the opposite direction. And he said, God says to tell you that you're not to be so hard on yourself. I laughed at that man so hard because I don't know what he's talking about. At that moment, I was so deep in thoughts and, just going through all that I did at that time and coming through successfully. That was one of my main victories. Then right out of college, my college was a part of my 5-year plan from high school. It went through on time. After college, I wrote a 6 months plan. I was in my 6 months plan and about to start, thinking about writing another 5-year plan and get to it. And I got sick. I got ill. Doctors couldn't tell me what I was ill with. All my money I was working went into that. And at some point in that time, I could feel my face. I started to lose my face. And during that time, I think it's during that time that I really found who I am with God now. And just coming through that and coming out still worshiping God, still loving God, still trusting God, that was such a big victory for me. And right now, another one of my victory is actually having had to do something that could help my family, getting in a place where I can actually help my family without depriving myself. Yeah, that's another big victory for me.
Okay. Yeah. We're about to end this interview with you, right? And you've shared with us your ups and downs as a young person. Given all that you have accomplished, given all that you have experienced, including the speed bumps that you've had to go over, right? What encouragement do you have for our young people listening to you right now?
Well, I would say set your mark, set your goal, and keep it in sight. And no matter what, keep heading for that. If you get bounced off the road, get up, brush yourself off. It may take a time, and get back to where you fell and start from that point. That's what I have. And while doing that, never stop trusting God. Sometimes that trust may become so thin, you don't even know that it's still there, but just never stop. Yeah.
And what is your favorite scripture as a young person? A scripture that helps to inspire and aspire you to higher things?
Trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not to thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. That's my favorite scripture. Always helps me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Theresa, for joining us. And our viewers, thank you also for joining us. We hope you were inspired from this interview, and we hope to see you again next time.